is my pleasure to introduce District Attorney Beth Mccann, who was elected in November of 2016 as the first female district attorney in Denver's history. DA McCann, the mic is yours.
Good afternoon. I'm Beth Mccann, the Denver DA, and it's a pleasure to be here talking to you virtually, even though I would rather see your smiling faces, but we have to do what we have to do. So I'm going to talk very briefly about a program that we have started here in the Denver DA's office called Restorative Justice. Many of you are probably familiar with it. Essentially, the goal of Restorative Justice is to repair the harm that is done by a defendant, but also give some satisfaction to the victim of a crime in having an opportunity to explain the impact the crime has had on the victim and then work toward a mutual solution. So we were very fortunate that I was able to hire someone to start the program and head it up. And also we've partnered with the Conflict Center, which is a nonprofit in North Denver that has done a lot of restorative justice work. So they actually conduct the circles when we do refer a case to them. So the way it works is we review the cases, refer them to the Conflict Center if the defendant is willing to take responsibility. That's a number one. And also we ask the victim if they agree to this process. So once that happens, it goes to the Conflict Center and there are meetings with the victim defendant prior to any contact. And then it's based kind of on the Native American circle, peacemaking circle. So they actually have facilitators and community members have a discussion. They come to an agreement about what would be an appropriate resolution. And then the Conflict Center monitors to make sure that the defendant goes through with whatever he or she has agreed to. They actually sign a contract. If they complete their contract requirements, the case is dismissed. If not, we go back to court and the case goes through the regular court process. The beauty of this is that it really gives the victim of a crime a chance to actually express the impact, and the defendant has an opportunity to express what was going on with him or her. We've had very good success with the program, and we've had some very good testimonials. For example, one woman said, "I feel different doing this program than court. I feel like I'm not treated like a criminal. The facilitators gave me respect. This program was a great choice for me. This process was a great choice for me." And another gentleman talks about how he felt he brought peace of mind to the family that he had harmed. So we plan to expand it. We started with misdemeanors and we are planning to expand to felonies, only in appropriate and selected cases, of course. But we feel like this is really a good addition and a good alternative in certain cases to the regular criminal justice system.
My name is Rachel Robinson. I am Deputy District Attorney here in Denver. I am currently assigned to the juvenile unit. I've been in this unit for about a year now. But before that, I was assigned to the County Court Division. That is where we handle misdemeanor cases. And during my tenure there, I did come across a case that I ended up finding that restorative justice would probably be appropriate. I brought it to Beth and she agreed. The basic facts of that case is that it was a young man. He was meeting his friends at McDonald's to go to a party. He was about 18 years old at the time. They were going to go to a party. And as he entered the back seat of the driver's side of the vehicle, he went to adjust his pants, and a gun that he had improperly secured there went off and shot his friend in the back. When I got this case, it had been charged as a third degree assault. That is a class 1 misdemeanor, the highest misdemeanor that we have. And that was because he had recklessly caused injury to another person. But as the case progressed, I learned more about the relationship between these two parties. I learned about the history of this young man, and it became apparent that perhaps restorative justice would be more appropriate. So specifically, when cases are issued, there's usually automatically a protection order put in place preventing parties from talking to each other. It's supposed to protect the victim. But in this particular case, since they had a pre-existing friendship, that protection order was creating a lot more friction between their mutual friends and was actually causing more trauma to the victim. And so after that protection order was lifted, one of the things that the victim expressed was that she didn't really know how to talk to the defendant about her experience. And so when the thought of restorative justice was suggested, she very much thought that that would be a good avenue for her to be able to have a way to talk to the defendant about what had happened to her and her experience. So that was one factor that very strongly led me to want to bring this case to Beth and see if that was something she would agree with. Additionally, this young man had no criminal history. Indeed, he was actually beloved, in the words of the victim's mother. He was beloved at school, and they had had a great relationship with the school before that. He had a supportive family, and he had no malice intent, no malicious intent when this crime occurred. And so all of those factors put together really indicated that he was someone who, when he said he wanted to take responsibility, would really take responsibility. And he did. He went through the restorative justice process with this victim. He heard her out. He also went and presented to other young juveniles in our juvenile division and spoke on a panel to them about carrying guns and the risks and the costs that it incurred to him. And ultimately, one other act of contrition, one other way that he decided to take accountability was that he bought the victim a new car. This is not something that she would have been able to receive or been entitled to under our normal restitution laws, but that is one thing that he wanted to do because he knew that when she saw that car, it invoked such a strong response in her, and this was a way that he could make amends for that. But overall, I know that the goal of restorative justice is to keep people out of the criminal justice system, but what I can say is that he wants to go on to serve his country, the defendant, in the armed forces, and then he wants to become a police officer. And the victim now has changed her studies, and she's studying criminal justice and wants to come back and participate in the criminal justice system. And that is in large part because of the positive experience that she had here.